everyone. So today I am sharing with you my daughter's Kinderleben math basket. I have two kids right now, and one of them is in second grade or Form 1A, and the other one is still in Kinderleben, as we call it, and she is 5 years old. And this is the basket that I set out for her when I'm doing my math lesson with my other daughter independently. So, or not independently, I'm helping her with her math lesson, and then my Kinderleben student can work on these various activities independently. And then I'll share a little bit about this. I also have, I think I've done a review on this program before, but we use this loosely. We do about a lesson a week out of this book. So to begin, first I want to just share these numbers here. These are wooden numbers that I got from Treasures for Jennifer, and they're just a really great way for your children to feel and, you know, learn what the numbers feel like in their hands. I give these even to my little toddlers. My daughter has had this math basket for a couple of years, so when she was like freshly 4, maybe even 3, I would just let her kind of tinker with these things. So yeah, she can just kind of play with these, line them up, and those are what I have. Let's see, I have 1 through 10. Another thing that I think is really good for kids to just tinker with and play with are these math bear counters. And there's various sizes, and then there's also various colors. And so it's so cute because I've posted on my account before on my Instagram about how they would, both my daughters, when they became a certain age, they would sit and naturally kind of sort these by color. And sometimes they'll sort them by size, and sometimes she'll just play mom, dad, and kid bear with them. But it's a good way to kind of expose them to patterns and sorting and counting. So we use these for our counting activities as well. The next thing we have are some marbles, and I got these at like the craft store. Oh, I forgot to mention, these are from when I was teaching, but I think they have them online too. I'll try to link to everything in the basket. But these are just little marbles, and we use these in the 10 frame sometimes, or sometimes I'll make a 10 frame. We use these for counting because right now she's working on numbers 0 through 5 and being able to recognize when she sees this. It's called number sense, and just seeing it and saying, okay, that's 3, and not having to count them. It's a skill that it's important that children can learn later on, and so we work a little bit with that. But these are useful, and again, there's different colors, so she can sort them, and she does. It's funny to see her just kind of naturally gravitate towards that. Next, we have the 10 frame. I got this from Treasures for Jennifer when my oldest was about 3, and it's been such a great investment. I also have these little wooden counters that go with it. So the 10 frame is great because it shows them a visual of 10. So for example, in our math lesson last week, I wanted her to be able to recognize, we just used a 5 frame, but I wanted her to be able to recognize, okay, this is 5, and if there's 2 counters here, how many are empty? And so with that lesson, she's able to say, okay, there's 3 that are empty. And so she's able to make those combinations. 2 and 3 are always 5, 4 and 1. And so that's just a foundational skill that she's working on. Another thing we have in here is number flashcards. I like to use these to put them in order. We have them through 20, but I'm only using through 10 right now with her. And this just gives her a good sense of what it looks like when it's written. She can take it and trace it. These are from Gentle Classical Preschool. And they're just beautiful animal flashcards. And so I'll mix them up and then we will do it together. I do not have her do any of this stuff independently. Like I said, it's out and she can play with it as she wishes in independent time. But when I work with her, I am helping her do everything. I'm not quizzing her. I'm not saying, here you go, put these in order, you know, because she's still learning. So that's not something I expect her to be able to do yet. All right. So next we have this little coin bag here. And the reason this is in here is, first of all, she sewed this with me as like a little project. My other daughter, who has, in grade 1, she had to make a money bag. I'll link what we use for her. It's a Charlotte Mason based math, but we had to use a money pouch. And so part of our first math lesson was making a coin purse. And so my younger daughter wanted to make one as well. And she feels very special and grown up using money. So sometimes we use the money for counting activities, but it's really just for her enjoyment that's in there. This is just another of the wooden counters here. So I have 2 of those. There's 100 total. And then we have the number bean bags. These also go through 20. But they're a fun way to mix them up and put them in order, right? And then also just to kind of have another way of recognizing the numbers. We can play games with this where I will throw a beanbag and then she'll have to go grab it, and then we can say, okay, what number is it? And then I'll help her say it if she doesn't know it in the written form. But it's just another like easy way to include math, like math games, to teach them their numbers and counting, but in a fun way. And then this here is just a whiteboard that I have in here because we have a whiteboard in my other daughter's math basket. And so she wanted to have a whiteboard of her own. So she'll draw sometimes or try to trace the numbers as best she can. It's really sweet how eager she is to try and learn. And then this is from Treasures for Jennifer. It's a tracing tool. And I like this because it's not writing, but it is some of those pre-writing skills. And I talked a lot about writing in my video I did recently on handwriting for children, so you can check that out. But one of the emergent writing skills is just being able to trace and feel how the number is supposed to go, right? So this is a little tool that came with it, and I always have her start at the top. And that's something that is just better than having them use the habit of starting from the bottom, right? And so when we work together on one of her math lessons, of one of the 2 I do with her, I hate saying lessons because she's only 5, but it is like a math game time that we have. I will have her trace these with me, and we'll say them aloud as we trace them. So very simple, but very effective. All right. And lastly, I wanted to share too, on the back of this is a good counting activity. You can use the wooden counters and fill them in, and then you can see the number corresponds with it as well. So this is also from Treasures for Jennifer. I bought this when my oldest daughter was 3, and it is going to be passed down to all of our kids. So a very good investment. All right, and that's about it. So like I said, I use this to keep her busy during math time. We do 4 math lessons a week with my oldest, and so she knows that when it's time for me to do a math lesson with my oldest daughter, my youngest daughter goes and gets this from the shelf and she will play with it. And there's enough things in here that there's a variety. Our math lessons with my oldest are only 15 minutes long with 5 minutes of review, so that is plenty of time for her to kind of explore with these. And then when I am working with her independently, I use this book. It's called Preschool Math at Home by Kate Snow. This is not a workbook. There's no writing involved. It's literally just counting, and it has games you can play with your child to help them learn number sense. So it really just focuses on numbers 0 to 5 and then numbers 6 through 10. And it's very slow, very gentle. I highly recommend it as a prerequisite for the Simply Charlotte Mason Arithmetic program that I currently use with my older child. And I do have a review on that, and I'll link it in the description. So hopefully you enjoyed this video on our Kinderleben Math Basket. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.